My name's Caroline Poynton. I'm recording this today because I'm not copyrighting YouTube, I'm paying attention.
To both of their YouTube channels. Also,
Tommy Robinson.
Well, we're going to get into it all today with the two superb hosts of our outspoken coverage of UTK this weekend. Weren't they brilliant there? They are Lauren the Insider and Leo Kirst. Make sure you subscribe to both of their YouTube channels. Also coming up on the show today, the man who was meant to be here hosting UTK, American independent journalist Don Keith, speaks out about being barred from the country by Slippery Starmer. And where streetings now deleted old tweets are exposed. And no, they totally prove why. This sexist, violent pig is completely wrong to ever become Prime Minister. We will reveal them for you. Then the Royal Council show over on Substack, Meghan Markle humiliated in Geneva as just 10 people turn up to hear her most delusional speech ever. We're going to team up with the Royal News Network today for extensive coverage of that over on Substack, www.outspoken.live.
And that is.
We're also back to reveal a
Rupert Low. Rupert Low is the only one that can deal with all of this. He's better than Donald Trump. He's going to be better than Donald Trump.
He says after just beginning to garner support.
Rupert Low is going to do me dinosaur border with me. Right round fucking France, southern France, if you like it or not. Because we are stopping them boats and stopping... Rupert Low is the person that's going to stop them boats and stop the migrants coming in. And he's going to get the ones that are here out the country, deport them. No, human rights, they'll have human rights, they'll be fed and alright, they're not going to be killed or anything. So they're going to get human rights, mate. I don't know about Kelly Badenoch, I like Kelly Badenoch. Them two, yes, they did go. Fucking Piers Morgan, they're both the losers. But I like Kelly Badenoch.
I will announce the winner at the end of the show today. But now, let's go.
I think she's been alright. I know it's a Conservative, but I can't call the person
that he claimed it wouldn't be, right?
I could call fucking Boris Johnson a wanker.
It was positive.
Twat, the same as fucking Keir Starmer.
Goes down in history as exposing just how out of touch Slippery Starmer is with a country that quite literally despises him. It's United Kingdom. As his arch nemesis Tom Robinson rightly boasted, Keir Starmer hates this. Before adding, with a wink, you was finished by a football hooligan from Luton, Keir Starmer. And yet again, the world took note, with the most powerful man on the planet, Elon Musk, demanding the thousands of British people in prison merely for social media posts or speaking their mind need to be released. No more prison island. Free the political prisoners in Britain. Now, the march was quite something. And Tommy declared UTK a turning point as the crowds of hundreds of thousands chanted, Keir Starmer is a wanker.
Different bits, like then as it comes out and whatever.
We're on the march, we're walking towards Trafalgar Square.
I was quite excited sitting here on the couch watching it.
Trafalgar Square's really full.
I wish I could be there.
We're here to use the station apparently, which is Miles. Okay? Miles, this is the biggest event in British history. This is the moment, a turning point for Britain. A message to the leaders. Britain's ready for the fight. Right? We're up. We're awake. We're not going to back down. We want our country back.
We need to bring that fight to France. The border.
Outlining a simple
we need soldiers ready for Rupert Low
and stopping Islam.
To put on the southern France border to block, because we need to block them, the illegal immigrants coming into France altogether. Once we stop them coming to France altogether, then we can take control of getting it sorted in England better. We want jails cleared first of all. Yeah. When Rupert Low comes in, first thing for him to deal with is the jails, clear the jails out, because we need them to put these other people in.
National sovereignty, safety and security.
And we need army men to deal with this.
And in an exclusive
to get
interview with
training to be a proper
Kurtz
army soldier.
after the rally,
We're not
Tommy quite rightly
using
warned of a dangerous
arms and
direction.
guns as
If
such.
there is not the political change,
Well, yeah,
we
a
are
little
all
bit on the
done.
border, obviously, as a, you know, a proper border control person, yeah, possibly, yeah. Obviously, you're going to have arms on there, aren't you? But obviously, taking the migrants and deportation people, we don't give people weapons or whatever, really, as such. We need them to be trained army soldiers, guards, to take them, put them in a what I call container. When I mean container, it would be a self-container. And they'll be going on a ship and they'll get shipped out.
Metaphorically barricading himself into number 10 Downing Street, claiming, like he's literally
Barricading
on
himself
another
in his
planet, that he wants to fight the next election. Watch this.
Yeah, he's on another planet, aren't
I do want to fight the next election.
you? Wait, this with your eyes wide closed, mate. See, look, Coca-Cola gets camel.
In Wales and Scotland
I'll tell you
as
what.
well. The first task is obviously turning things around.
Do the Okie Cola, mate. Do the Okie Cola and we'll do one.
A lot of activity
Bye.
which hasn't been as focused in my view as it should have been.
Well,
and I remind
in
myself
our views,
that I was elected to office to serve the people, to serve.
Can we not just
That's
drop
what
him
I
off
believe,
somewhere?
and that's what I'll be getting on with.
Can someone not kidnap this cunt?
Kids have already moved
I
out.
say, don't have to do anything, arming or anything. Not have to do anything army, then don't lock me up. But can we not?
And this is what Starmer had to say when
Put him in a
Christopher
room.
Hope of GB News pushed him just a little bit
I've got
further
to
and
say-
asked if he would set out a timetable if Andy Burnham were to
No,
slither his way into Parliament.
I'll just
If
go
Andy
off
Burnham
fucking
wins the
anything, to
Wakefield
be fine, it's
by-election,
fucking nice.
will you set out a timetable to stand down? Some of your colleagues in Cabinet wanting to do.
I'm not going to do that. It is obviously a very important by-election. Can I be really clear, as I was with my staff this morning?
Just want you all
it
done
is a
there.
time
Just go,
between
just go,
Labour and
please.
Britain.
Why don't
It's
you
a
just
very
leave?
important night.
Why don't you all just do the right thing, innit, really?
Briefed against good people,
You've done what
disgrace,
you've done.
absolute. But this is the man who will put power ahead of principle every time, with his matey boy Robert Pearce revealing a U-turn this morning. Keir Starmer has decided not to announce the departure timetable unless and until Andy Burnham wins the Makerfield by-election. Indeed, Calamity Lammy, treacherous Prime Minister, was sent out on the airwaves to insist Starmer is not going anywhere.
Just finally, Lisa and Andy spoke to my colleague Trevor Phillips over the weekend and said the Prime Minister has got to take his own decision about whether he wants to take the fight forwards. I'm obviously close to Keir Starmer. What is his frame of mind? Is there a chance that he might set out a timetable to leave his...
Let me be really clear. Keir
Let's be
Starmer
really clear,
remains
Daisy,
the
for me,
most resilient
God.
person I've known
Nah.
in my life.
And what are you?
I spoke to him twice
Fucking
yesterday.
dinosaur.
He has a strength
You
of
are a
character, a fighting
dinosaur.
experience. There will be no
You
timetables. What there
the
is getting on with the
dinosaurs.
business of government.
You're
Really
government.
crystal clear about that. At the
We're
moment,
clear
there
about
is
that.
no contest. What
There's
there
no
is
contest.
his determination to deliver for the people, British people, accelerate the
Fucking
pace,
should be.
accelerate
Did
the
you
pace
start
over the
with
coming
this
months.
down?
Much to do.
So just to be crystal
You have
clear,
the
no
cow
timetable
and the
for
lamb.
departure set out by Keir Starmer.
There will be no
Not happening.
timetable for departure.
Well, Keir Starmer is the cow, David Lammy is the lamb.
Speaking to you,
Meh.
He even promised the
Keir
Prime
Starmer
Minister
doesn't
will campaign for Andy Burnham, which is actually much more of a threat given how chronically unpopular he is.
I just want to know what he's doing for Rupert Low in Manchester, Bury, or as close to Bury as possible.
Of course I'll be campaigning.
Because I'm not
with him.
voting for
Now
no
that
one,
the by-election,
apart from Rupert
is
Low,
up
mate,
now,
so
it will
just
be up
fucking
to
do
people
one.
of
I don't
Labour
give
to
two
determine,
fuck.
of course.
I'm not voting for him, I'm not voting for any of them. I'm voting Rupert Low. I'm voting very Nigel Farage. Then Rupert Low, mate. I am 43, David Lammy. I'm voting Rupert Low. So the rest of you could saddle up, do one. Because everyone's going to vote Rupert Low, mate. All the right normal English people, the British English people and that. Irish, Scottish, the Welsh. All of us, whoever belongs to freaking Ireland then, right, if they want this, we all need to vote the same person that
So we can
Rupert Low.
potentially expect to see the Prime Minister
Let's
campaigning
just
on
get
behalf
with it.
of the man who wants to take his job.
Oh, the fucking BBC.
We have to
pedo
get back to being one united
Yeah,
piece.
you not united
We've had
anyone.
10 days
Well,
of
you
introspection. Let us now put that to
uniting
one
anyone?
side.
Have you seen
Let
what
us
they've just
unite
done?
to fight this by-election and to
Fight this
deliver on
by-election, you
behalf
don't fight
of the
shit,
British
mate.
people. If
British
10
people, you
days
don't
of
even
this
know
is
who the
one
British
thing,
people are,
10
mate.
weeks of this, I'm afraid, the
You
British
don't know
people
who we
will see
are.
the back end of us at the next general
Because
election, and that I say to
we
all
didn't
of
come
my
off a rubber
colleagues,
bastard
and
thingy.
I can't emphasise that
And we
enough.
don't say we know all about bar, whoever they call him, or whatever
You
it's
are
called.
gone, mate.
Whatever
You
it's
are
called.
finished.
I don't
There
even
are
know
no
what it's
comebacks
called.
possible from here.
Whatever
You can
it's
trust
all
me
called.
on that. Remember, that
The
scumbag
only
once
thing I
called
think-
Brexiteers Nazis.
Yeah,
And
we're
now
not
he wants
Nazis,
to renew that fight against patriots.
And let's just go back to Brexit.
Brexit.
Farage said it would bring immigration down. It hasn't. It's got worse. Farage said that we'd be better off. We haven't. We're much, much poorer. Everyone across the country realises
Yeah, well, I
that.
don't trust
So there are
Farage, so-
promises made, and we should hold their
I'm not
feet to the
trusting
fire
Nigel
for those
Farage,
promises.
mate.
That's
I'm
what
trusting
was
Rupert
upsetting about the
Low
last week.
to be able to come in and deal with
being
it.
humiliated
properly.
by the peaceful
No
protests at UTK over the
corruption.
weekend,
He's going to be the
Lammy and
first
Starmer
person in the
continue
world
to
that's
try
not
and stoke
corrupted.
right-wing violence
In I don't know how many
as they
years,
launched this
200
new
years,
war
he's going to be the
on
first
Tommy
person not
Robinson.
corrupted in government power.
You've put out a social media
Ever.
post, Deputy Prime
Literally,
Minister,
probably ever.
on Saturday.
Because it
The
was
Unite
built
the
on
Kingdom
social
March
media anyway,
organisers
wasn't
are
it?
spreading hatred
But he's going to
and
be the first
division.
person, Rupert Low,
How do
that's
you know? Did you
not
attend it?
corrupted.
Well, actually,
And that's
you'll
exactly, well, that's exactly
that,
what we need. So understand that,
I
David Lammy.
and my
If
family
he's down, and I
are
fucking
in
do want.
central
Well, your
London.
family, our family's
Very
everybody's
aware of the
family.
protests. There were 43 arrests made, 11 of them for hate speech.
No,
Nigel,
it's just stupid,
working
mate.
with the Home Secretary,
How you
was
making it
ensured that
sound
people
like
could
it's
not fly into
fucking
our
really
country from
bad?
abroad to stir up hate and
Mate,
division on our
it-
streets.
Yeah.
So we
No,
barred them from the
nobody's
ability
stirring
to
up
do
hatred.
that.
It was
And the
what you call
police
breach
did
of
a
the peace.
huge
It's probably just what you
operation
call
in
going
London, lots
F
of
off to
resources,
someone.
all of it at public
you
expense. People have the right to protest, but they
People
must
have the right
protest
to-
peacefully.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, the 43 arrests were
As long as you're
all
not going around
linked to the
bashing
United
someone and
Kingdom
stealing
demonstration,
and
were they?
causing
That
mayhem
was
in
over the
them
course
sort
of the
of
weekend.
ways.
I know that there was another protest,
As
of
long as
course,
you're
the
not being
NAPA
severely-
protest
like-
was going on as well.
I mean,
I
what's
haven't
called
seen the full
abuse,
breakdown of
okay.
arrests related
Some
to
people
it.
say
How
you're a
do you know
wanker.
that
I
the
don't
United
think
Kingdom
that's...
March organisers are
It's not
spreading
really
hate
that,
and
it's
division?
not abuse.
If you didn't attend,
If someone don't like you because of your colour and the way
this
you
was not
walk, the way you
first of
talk,
those
maybe
marches.
your fucking head,
Some of those that were asked to come
maybe
and
your
attend.
fucking...
No, I
could
know
be
that,
the same-
sir, but
someone might not like
you're referring to the ones on
anything.
Saturday.
And they might like you.
This is a
Oh, come on,
Because
Nick,
of everything.
Nick, you and I have known
It's
each other
not
for years.
against the law.
Let's be clear. We know what Tommy Robinson's
It's not against the
about.
law to just like someone that don't believe in what they believe in or don't
Discussion
agree
on
with
LBC.
it.
All your listeners know what Tommy Robinson's
Yeah,
about. I
it's
don't
not
think
against the
anything
law
I
to
said was
swear.
particularly controversial.
Well, today we
But
can
then it's
prove
not
to
against the law,
the
that's not
treacherous
against the
Deputy
law.
Prime Minister that all of the violence was, surprise, surprise, coming from the leftists and the
I suppose if
Islamists.
someone's harassing you after so long, maybe if the calls and then they don't just walk away and keep coming at you, then that's kind of harassment, yeah. Oh yeah, that's what they're always doing. Yeah, it was all from the left as well. Because I watch all that as well. They always do it. I think when they do it to the English like this, it gives the police a bit more. I think they look more big.
Far left extremists chanted for the murder of Tommy Robinson at their counter protest, suggesting
Murder
they
of
should
anyone.
shoot him in the neck like
They don't like
Charlie
fucking
Kirk. It's
anyone.
on video.
Because they don't like anything, they don't like anyone. I don't know what they fucking like apart from not having a bath and having a wash, because look at the state of them all of them. Fuck off, mate. What's that with his hair? Fuck off, mate. Oh, do your hair. Oh, what the fuck? That fat twat bitch, Charlotte. I'm sorry, my love, she were right, not you, love, she's peaceful, but the woman there, then that was some scary woman. She's nice. She's a nice lady, yeah. And that's talk,
As
isn't it?
Elon
Talk
Musk
TV.
rightly put it, the lunatic left celebrates murder. And Julia Hartley-Brewer asked this
And you
question:
don't
why did
cheat
you make
people.
so
I don't
few
cheat
arrests
anybody like that.
at the Nakba Hate March?
I don't
Metropolitan
go out
Police
and
should
cheat people
every
like that.
single person chanting for Tommy Robinson to
I'll
be
just
shot
say I
dead
don't go out and
have been
fucking
arrested on the
do things
spot
like that.
for incitement
I
to
don't know
violence. Well,
someone.
indeed. But of course, This is Sadiq Khan's Metropolitan Police, with two-tier policing at their heart and their soul. Indeed, they claim that UTK was more violent, even though we've seen no footage backing that up, announcing there were 43 arrests as part of the Central London Public Order Policing Operation. 20 of those arrests were affiliated with the UTK protests, while 12 were affiliated with the NACPA protests. 11 were either not affiliated with either group, or it hasn't been possible to confirm their affiliation. There were arrests for 11 hate crime-related offences. Of those arrests, 2 were affiliated to NACPA and 9 United the Kingdom. They included offences motivated by race, religion, sexuality and disability. A further 7 hate crime offences remain under investigation with outstanding suspects, all from the NACPA protest. 3 arrests were as a result of the use of live facial recognition.
And I go after, and they've stopped selling freaking Fosters in Carlin in 4-packs. I'm like,
on the same
well,
day.
where's this
But basically, it's sweetness and light. If you compare UTK to the Notting Hill Carnival, where people are arrested in their hundreds and people are stabbed to death, and Sly News claims it's a great family day out. But as Aaron Brooks reported, it was actually pro-Palestine protesters that threatened a Muslim police officer. He asked, "Hey, Keir Starmer, is this the side you're on?" Yeah? Watch. Yet Diane Abbott, who was removed from Labour because of anti-Semitism, had the cheek to say of the Patriots protesting, they are viciously right-wing, viciously racist, they are anti-black, anti-Muslim, and viciously anti-Semitic. She's talking about the United Kingdom protesters, by the way. We have to come together to fight the racists, to fight the fascists, to fight the anti-Semites.
Is she anti-African?
Well, Lauren the Insider responded, Diane Abbott, you are a vicious liar. The only racist and anti-Semites are those on the left who create division whilst wearing masks. Sly News, of course, covered the event entirely from the likelihood of UTK violence, rather than discussing the fact that there was no violence and focusing on the important messages on stage. Indeed, they were devastated when nothing terrible happened.
Now, if operationally, if there were a skirmish that broke out, I'm just speaking hypothetically here, in the middle of this big street here, of this big throng of people, how would police deal with that?
You go in. You have to go, but you would go in almost with your team.
Other than so you're looking at it from. I mean, we're showing people aerial pictures here from the helicopter.
So all London's Islamist Mayor Sadiq Khan should be doing is praising us, right, and apologising. Instead, he went on trolling us. This is how sick in the head this dude is. Posting outrage generates clicks, which is why you'll have noticed a surge in online content talking London down. Be vigilant. So much of what we see online is far from real. One city, 9 million people, all of us Londoners, we will never be divided. Hate is loud, love is louder. Okay, so I want to show you the apparent haters at the UTK match. I've just shown you the haters from the left. Al Leo Kurtz actually caught up with the haters at United Kingdom. Watch.
So, what's your name, sir? Taylor, nice to meet you, Taylor. I invited you to come here today.
Says to support my country.
Nice one, man. And what do you see as the why does the country need supporting right now in particular?
We're just no freedom speech, is it? We need freedom speech, yeah. Everyone's into this, supporting. That's what I mean.
I'm going to say that's going to make sure the trans are working. Things like this, I mean, maybe not as much into transport. But he deals with a lot of things along there, innit?
I'm concerned about the
Yeah,
mayor
City,
thinking
I
that
could
place
say
over
City
there
Council be allowed now. He's not even English.
taking over
Not even
the
British.
country completely. Can't understand it, so I'm here to lend support to common sense,
Pakistan.
basically. What do you make of the rally today? What's the
Should be
atmosphere
allowed
like
now
for
in
you?
England.
The same as always, I love it coming here.
I'm not saying a black person or an Asian person can't be
peaceful,
government.
everybody's
Because
happy,
look,
everybody,
Sunak
all
was.
different nationalities, everybody's
But
speaking
Sunak
to
was
each
born
other.
here and his
We're all
parents
here to make a good day of it.
paid in all their lives.
So I would
into
argue the
country, and they
contrast
worked hard, his
between
parents
the
did.
leftist haters and wreckers
To what I know.
and the
Yeah.
patriots at UTK
And
has
they-
never been more
And I
stark.
mean, it wasn't perfect,
As lost
Sunak. I mean, he's a
Britain
pleb
broke.
like the rest of them. But
So here we have two children.
out of
One
Sunak
is a
and
racist,
Sadiq Khan,
violent,
Sunak's
far-right
fucking...
thug. The other,
Sunak
I'll
got
let
more
you
rights
decide.
than Sadiq Khan. He
Watch
shouldn't
both
be
the
allowed
video.
now.
I'm here to protect
I
the
don't
kids
even know how
and
he's
how
been
I have
parachuted.
strict
Oh,
safety
King
when I
Charles
have
giving
kids,
him an eight.
because I'm scared.
One
Because
twat.
I'm scared
There you
anything's
go.
going to happen to me.
King Charles.
Because being a white guy is
We
really
did a
scary
speech
at
about
this time.
Samra. He didn't
Loads
do
of people
anything.
call me racist
What
for
speech
going
did
to
King
this,
Charles
but
give,
I just
really? He
want
didn't
to
do
protect my
nothing.
own community.
He still
And
sat
I just
there.
want to be able to walk the
Pissed
streets
out.
like my dad and my mum used to without a worry.
Not going to school at the moment. What's happening there?
People are
Alright,
calling me
understand
racist
his
at school
age,
for going
in
to
fact,
the
that cancer or
marches,
whatever.
and they're calling me far right.
But Donald Trump's
But
the
the thing
same
is, I'm
age,
not far right. I
and
respect
he's
everyone's
been
culture,
shot and
their
all
religion,
sorts
where
as
they
well.
come from and their
And Donald
background.
Trump's
I
not
should
been
be
well
able
off
to
and
feel safe.
whatever, so just don't shut up for fucking King Charles for himself, man.
Show him your sign.
Or he can just go. Why is he doing it? Why is William not coming out yet and doing it?
I mean, I think he summed it up really. Nazis are fuckers.
I mean, if William can't come out by now, really, take over properly, over the job and done the speech for the king instead of the king doing it, done a proper speech to get Starmer out for the people, then William's going to be no good then. I mean, he's the same age as me. I was going to say, so then William's not going to fucking be any
I'm
good then, is he?
speechless.
Yeah.
I'm not often speechless. The Islamist media actually infiltrated Unite the Kingdom. This is 5 pillars.
I'd rather
And
have
the
William
Muslim
as the
activist
king.
Roshan Mohammed
King
Salah,
Charles.
who went undercover at the rally
Ah.
and immediately decided to start with some casual anti-white
Good.
racism. That's a form of discrimination apparently completely acceptable today, before having the Islamist cheek to criticise Christians.
The majority of white people, obviously, as you expect with a Tommy Robinson march. I just heard Ant Middleton call Sadiq Khan a CUNT. So this woman holding a sign saying F Islam, Christ is King.
I don't swear. It's not really F anybody, I mean.
So another thing I'm seeing is lots of these Christian crosses.
What
Lots
we
and
need to
lots of
know
fake
is it,
Christians
well,
here claim to be Christians. Hijacking Christianity.
we don't want
Christianity
a
is not a
Muslim
far-right
country,
movement.
no.
It doesn't hate people of different colour or different creeds. Christianity is a religion of compassion, but these guys are just hate mongers. People pushing Christianity here, but there ain't too many Christians here, I can tell you that.
Oh, and of course the undercover Muslim activists just hated the dogs. Hated the dogs in attendance at UTK Watch.
There's no violence at all. I must admit, I haven't seen any violence. The police are having an easy time of it for the moment. Got to be fair. Obviously, I don't like these guys and these people around me, but I think they're the worst of Britain. I think they're extremists. But so far, it's been peaceful.
No, not
I've seen some dogs. You know that they lots of people here prefer to have dogs to children.
Children, dogs.
Yeah, cute little dog. More dogs, they love their dogs. Looks like that dog's just done a SHIT on the floor. Yeah, you're going to clean it up, I'm sure. Lots of people completely out of their head. The brink today, you see that man with a can in his hand, completely out of his head. These guys completely bevied up, as you can see.
Isn't that the worst expose you've ever seen? There were some great Brits with lovely dogs having a few bevies. 5
A bit of
pillars,
P-pop plot.
useless. What was much more interesting
Alright,
to me was
couple
the
of
American
donkeys, maybe
independent
here,
media
there, but-
sensation Nick Shirley. He somehow was allowed into the country and posted, "I've been covering these marches each year for the past 3 years and they get bigger every year." It would be an understatement to say there isn't a serious revolution brewing if the government doesn't shift course quickly. Change is inevitable in the UK and the revolution has begun. He interviewed Tommy on the day. It's really interesting. I want you to watch.
What does it say about the current state of the United Kingdom? What do the people want?
It says that the public are ready. We're ready. We've been asleep for too long.
Ready for what?
We're ready to fight for our country. Right? We're ready.
But ready in what to do though? What you ready to do though? That's the
We're going to
point.
spread this through every town and city, and we're getting ready for the Battle of Britain in 2029. Our next election is the most important election in this country's history, because the enemy are no longer invading on the borders where they are, but the enemy is here.
And it's Rupert Low then.
They're here.
They all come together, mate. You've got to vote Rupert Low.
They tried to replace us, just like they did in
Nice
Minnesota.
marginal governor, he's a liar.
The best place in the world, yeah? They're living in Minnesota. They didn't choose there.
He had done with the Greeny gangs, he didn't do any inquiry. He's called Tommy Robinson, he's smeared Rupert Low, he's done what he's done to them, he's done what he's done to a lot of people.
They have 6, 7 kids, we don't. They're bringing people in to replace us that are loyal to them.
And then
to be dependent on the state.
he's been in all this time and I don't see what reform are actually doing much of. Well, if they're not showing people what they're doing,
You're witnessing today the counter-revolution.
I can't see it.
Or come 2029 if nothing happens.
You know, nobody can see much of what they're doing yet.
You have to get the 50% of non-voters. You need to captivate them, electrify them, and give them back that sense of
They're not
identity and
going to
belief that they
bother.
matter. Today, everyone here knows they matter.
And your message to the rest of the West, for those that aren't here, that don't see what's happening every day here in Britain, what would you say the reality of life is?
The reality of life is women are scared, they can't walk the streets.
Well, I was going to say how many people have reformed tried to get deported yet, criminals, why they're not fighting it. Why they're not fighting for the plan for Rwanda back. Why they're not fighting that plan back to deport them to Rwanda. You don't need to bring them to England, you just go straight to Rwanda. You don't need to come to fucking England in the first place. We need to clear the country out.
Now, on stage, there are a whole load of eye-catching
To lock down the borders, say what needs to be done. The borders need to be shut off completely.
Was
We need to not let
French
anybody
women
else in the country
who got on stage
on
to
visa
comedy
or
cries
illegal
of
entry
"Take it
or
off,"
any entry,
which they
unless they're born
eventually
here.
did. Look.
Right? Let's completely born here. Obviously to do shows and things like that, yeah. But nobody's allowed to, we need to shut the borders off completely. Then we need to clear the jails out, because we need the jails for the people that need to be locked up. Right? No, we do. We need jails for people that do need to be, that the illegals that are on the street committing crimes that should be in jail, that are not in jail, need to go to jail. But we need to clear the jails out first so we can put them in jail and then get them deported.
Good on
Right?
him.
We
And
need
you
to
know
do
what? Obviously,
a
there are
massive
immediate
cleaning
crises.
operation of every hotel,
But Donald
every fucking
Trump's free
hotel.
speech
We
champion
need the
Sarah
army.
Rogers
We
at the
need
State
lots of army
Department
people,
posted
army
in
men to get
support of
trained
that
up to
stunt,
be
writing, "When
guards,
people like this say
army
they want to
trained
ban
guards."
Islamophobic hate, they mean they want to ban European
As if
women
like
from
you're
rebuking
a bit like a
the
police
burqa."
officer.
Rupert Low.
Yep, I was going
And
to say
Restore
Rupert
Britain.
Low, yeah.
Also
That's what I'm
backed
voting for.
UGK, with its
Straight
leader
away.
writing
And
yesterday's
I
march was peaceful,
hope
patriotic,
people who
and
don't go to
filled
rally
with
things
decent
together.
Brits who are concerned about the direction of our
Rupert Low.
country. Starmer should
All the
apologise for
people
how
there
he
need to vote
spared
for
many,
Rupert Low.
many ordinary
And more.
patriots.
Like
Incredibly,
me at her,
I think
not
less of
big
that
guy.
man every single day.
Other people.
Now, on
that,
stage, what
you
was
know,
interesting
Yeah.
is it was made clear to Tommy that the
And they all need to
UGK
pay membership
crowd
to Rupert
was
Low.
supporting Restore Britain,
It's not just a
with
it's
chants
not
of
taking
Rupert
people's money, it's
ringing
to
out
support
among the
Rupert Low to get
throngs
his
of
party
patriots. This
running
was
that.
quite a moment. Look.
And it's not being taken by big donors that nobody needs to know about, like fucking Nigel Farage. I don't know about this money, I don't know if it's genuine or what, but who's giving the money and what did he give it him for? Yeah, I was saying it, what did he want then? That's why he's not done with the grooming gang scandal, innit? Yusuf or somebody probably giving him the money, that's why Yusuf is fucking taking over the party. And all the Conservatives. Yeah. And they're all those people, they've all been in, they're all dinosaurs, been in the fucking parties and fucked it all up.
We cannot go home from this event and go back to
Now,
sleep.
there's a
But
couple
Lauren,
of
the
people,
insider
hang
counted
on,
I'm a
Dan,
big supporter of Rupert
yeah,
and want the right to
Rupert
unite
Low,
and
there is a
move
couple of
forward.
people who have
He
said that I
missed a
wouldn't mind
big
joining
opportunity
Rupert
to
Low.
be there
That's
yesterday,
Kerry
particularly
Baby
due to his huge
yeah,
and
'cause I like
group
Kerry
support,
despite
would
she's
be
in
open to
Conservatives, I
supporting
like the lady.
Restore.
I think she's very
And,
good with what she.
Look, there is
I
still
think
some
she's got a very.
gutlessness. You've got to
There's
admit
something
that.
about her. I was going to say there's
The
something about
only
her. She
MP
talk to
there
people very
was
well.
someone who I
I
called.
was going to say
Actually, did you see this? Sarah Poacher.
You know, she's a lot
from
better than
Reform UK.
Starmer.
She was watching from
Or
a
any of them
window,
fucking labourers.
but she was with a boot as a result.
But this is what I
The
mean. I
Reform
don't like
Shell
that
Matt
Sarah
Goodwin
approaching
tried
that.
to take credit
I
for
don't
UTK,
like
even
her,
though
the
he
other one
refused
in
to
Reform.
attend.
That woman.
Writing after the fact, what
I don't
happened
like
yesterday
her.
was
She's
clearly
cold.
not far
She's
right.
not
What happened
nice.
yesterday was clearly not hate. And what
I don't
happened
care
yesterday
if
was
she's
clearly not
Muslim or not. She's just
extremism.
not nice.
Mainstream commentators and politicians should find the courage to stand up
She's
and
horrible.
say
She's
this.
stuck up her own
If you
ass.
continue to casually smear millions of
Better
people as
than
far
anybody
right,
else?
then you'll
No.
not only
We
ensure
don't
the term
want
no longer
people
has
that-
any meaning
Well, this
at
is what
all,
me and Rupert
you'll
Low
also
doesn't
only
think he's
deepen
better
the
than
well of
anybody
resentment
else.
and
Rupert Low is a
understandable
good
anger that
man.
millions of people
A
feel
person that's
as they are
gonna think.
forced to watch the
Because
destruction of their home while also
Rupert
being
Low
told their
is gonna-
entirely legitimate
I'll
views
tell you
are
now,
illegitimate.
he's God.
The term
Rupert
far
Low,
right should only be used
Jesus.
for genuine
Everybody
extremists who
supports
espouse
God.
racial
We
hatred
all
and
love
want to
God.
overthrow
Rupert
democracy.
Low,
For
God,
all those people
his
yesterday,
spirit
they should
should
be
have
called
gone
what they
within
are,
Rupert Low.
patriots. And that is true. I
Save
agree.
England, save England, save
But we didn't
Canada.
see you there, Matt Goodwin. You avoided it. And we haven't forgotten that
I don't know
this
why
is what your
Rupert Low
deputy
did
leader,
that,
Richard Tice,
but he has sent
called
a few
Tommy's United
people
Kingdom
from
patriot
Restore Britain.
not
There is-
all that long
there has been a
ago
few
at
people
all.
from Restore Britain gone.
Tommy Robinson, people
So
have
I
been
don't know
protesting
why
in his
Rupert Low
name.
didn't
What do you
go
make
himself,
of Tommy
but
Robinson?
there
Is he a
have
good
been
guy?
people
Is he alright?
from Restore Britain that
all
have
of that
gone.
lot, we have nothing to do with
Well, even the
all of
protesters
reports
who
that
have
have
got
been
banners like
Restore
saying
Britain
two-tier care, you
So-
agree with them on the policing and justice?
We agree with ourselves. I'm not aligning ourselves with Tommy Robinson's lot in any shape or form.
This is what I'm saying about
And
reform.
now,
I don't
the
like him.
superstar panel.
Nigel Farage lies. Not like freaking Keir Starmer and the rest
And
of
it is
them.
our
Oh, it's not as
superstar
bad as Keir
YouTube
Starmer. It's a bit like a Boris.
Lauren,
bit
the
like
Insider,
Boris
and
Johnson.
Leo Kurst, thank
The
you
kid
both.
off
You did
the
incredibly on Saturday. It
Yeah.
was amazing coverage, and I
He
was
can
totally gripped actually
talk,
on my cruise.
but he won't do the war.
Lauren, it's fascinating, isn't it, that Starmer,
Well,
despite the
I won't
complete
do
repudiation
talk,
from UTK, is still digging in. It's like,
And he
does
was
he
gonna be
not
better.
understand the
Rupert Low would
anger,
be better
the
than Donald
fury,
Trump.
which we saw quite clearly on the streets, Lauren,
And I like
expressed
Donald
in
Trump.
a
I'm a big fan of Donald Trump,
non-violent
you know.
manner
I have this
against
a long
his
time, but
wishes.
Rupert Low is
It's so
He's-
frustrating
he's
to
like
watch
a
this,
step.
and as
If
someone
he
that
become Prime
has
Minister,
been in the
he's gonna
position,
be
like you,
the
Dan, of
best
writing
legacy
headlines and
left
curating news,
ever
to
as a
see
Prime Minister
how
for England.
people are not being represented
Honestly,
in the mainstream media,
he's
to
gonna be in
see
the history
how
book for being the
Keir
best
Starmer is using his position
government
to
person
constantly
ever,
lie,
best
to
Prime Minister
constantly
ever.
bully people.
He's going to be better
It
than Donald
makes
Trump.
my
He's
blood
gonna make
boil.
history.
He
Yeah.
is a liar. He is so dangerous. And watching your coverage of UTK,
Yeah, all right, yeah.
you know,
Sorry.
and seeing that little girl,
Just wait a minute, sorry.
like you, Dan, of writing headlines and curating news, to see how people are not being represented in the mainstream media, to see how Keir Starmer is using his position to constantly lie, to constantly bully people. It makes my blood boil. He is a liar. He is so dangerous. And watching your coverage of UTK, you know, and seeing that little girl, that is what the left are doing to her. You know, that lovely little girl we saw who's being branded far right. And then you see the disgusting left. They're mental. They're literally mental. They need sectioning, and sectioning out of this country. We don't need them. Keir Starmer is absolutely abusing his position, and the fact that more media are not standing up to him and they're just, oh, here are your approved questions, and they're like nodding dogs. He's a despicable man, and I will never stop on this fight for this country, Dan, because for my daughters to grow up under a dictatorship like Keir Starmer, it makes me feel sick. This is so different from the world that I grew up in, and it's like we're all screaming underwater. You know, I don't understand. How are there still some people that are so stupid that they genuinely would vote for this cretin?
100%, 100%. And Lee, we saw David Lammy go on LBC, pick this new fight with Nick Ferrari, didn't give a damn about what actually happened. Like, the facts did not matter to him. It's just like, oh, you know Tommy Robinson, Nick. You know Tommy Robinson. We agree on Tommy Robinson. And that's why I wanted to show in interviews, Leo, with the Patriots, who were there on Saturday, because I watched live as you were speaking to these people, and I thought, what a cross-section. All good salt of the earth people, all making sensible points, and certainly not the types of people that they were suggesting were going to be turning up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for David Lammy to say that Tommy Robinson's an evil, far-right, bigoted racist, and for it to be just accepted by Nick Ferrari, there's no pushback on that. In fact, he said, without putting forward any evidence whatsoever, he said, oh yeah, that's one thing we can agree on. Like a couple of people in the 16th century agreeing that the sun goes round the earth. They're so certain about it, but it's an ideological belief. I used to believe that as well, because it's like the group opinion of everybody I knew was that Tommy Robinson was a racist. Then you meet Tommy and you see the people Tommy's friends with, and you see the things that Tommy says, the beliefs that he holds, and maybe he's got some other faults, but but racism isn't one of them. And in fact, the genuine far right in Britain criticised Tommy for not being racist, for not being an ethno-nationalist. Tommy Robinson is a civic nationalist, and for Tommy to be held up as this sort of somehow uniquely evil and dangerous threat, that's an absolute nonsense. I mean, at this point, Tommy Robinson is probably one of the safest off-ramps for the growing and understandable rise in anger and nativist sentiment by British people who've seen what's happened to their country, who, as Tommy points out, we've had people imported into the country, millions and millions of people, because they're going to be they're going to be clients of the state. They're going to vote for the establishment. They're going to vote for Labour, and they're going to be dependent on the state. They're going to be, as the left are concerned, the perfect citizens. It's that sort of leftist Islamist alliance that helped bring about the revolution in Iran. They want to do it here as well. But they should remember what happened in Iran. I mean, the socialists and the Islamists allied in Iran to overthrow the Shah, and once they'd had their revolution, once they overthrew the Shah, and I'm sure what would happen after they overthrow democracy in Britain, after that happened, the leftists didn't get the beautiful socialist utopia that they wanted.
So
the Islamists are more powerful.
They got thrown off buildings. They got thrown off buildings. Or the women were put in their homes like that, if they emerged into public. And Leo, I mean, look, you were there on the ground. So you saw this too, but how hilarious was that seeing five pillars infiltrate, desperately looking for trouble, right? So convinced that they were going to get trouble. And what did they get, Leo? A few patriotic Brits wrapped in the flag, having a few bevies, and a dog. And Leo, the dog even went to the toilet. And we know Islamists, there's nothing Islamists hate more than a dog.
Absolutely. When he tweeted that, I couldn't believe it. It was like he was just showing everybody, oh, we hate dogs as well, by the way. And when we're in power, when we get our caliphate, all your dogs are getting rounded up and shot. He was basically just broadcasting that to everyone. Why would anybody be opposed to dogs at the rally? And of course, the Palestine marches, the far left marches. Oh, they're famous for their lack of litter and for their incredibly good behaviour. I mean, the double standards are just ridiculous. We saw with the Islamist marches, the Palestine marches, the socialist marches, we saw statues of Winston Churchill being desecrated, war memorials being desecrated. There was none of that. There was none of that at the Unite the Kingdom rally. All right, a dog might have done a poo on the pavement. That's bad. You know what I mean? I agree. That's bad. That's bad. But that's all you got. That's all you got. You know what I mean? Somebody had a can of carling. Oh my God! Call the cops. 11 hate speech offences. I mean, that those hate speech offences are going to be things like, they're chanting Allah, Allah, who the F is Allah, to the tune of who the F is Allah. And that's just British humour. We do that with Christianity. We do it with everything. It's like Monty Python. That's not hateful. The hateful stuff is on the Palestine marches.
But
where
by
you
the
can
way,
literally see people
we're
refusing to be
allowed to hate religion. It's not illegal. You can't lock me up for hating a religion. It's not
I was
racist.
gonna say.
It's completely allowed within
not
British
offensive,
law.
it's not
And some people might not like that. They can try and use this made-up word Islamophobic, but it's not actually going to change the fact that as it stands, I mean, they might be trying to take that right to free speech away, but as it stands, we are allowed to hate a religion in the free United Kingdom. Now, the Mayfield by-election is going to be the biggest by-election of all time. I mean, this is a by-election unlike any other. It is going to determine the future of the country. And as a result, there is a huge war brewing on the right over Rupert Low's decision for his surging insurgent party, Restore Britain, to stand a candidate. He has announced Restore Britain will be standing in the Makerfield by-election. There is overwhelming demand from our local members to do so, and I entirely agree. Our campaign has already started, and we aim to win thousands and thousands of votes. Kate Hoey, who has been a big supporter of Reform UK, said this is a decision Rupert will live to regret, as will his party. Jack Hatfield of Reform UK argued if Andy Burnham slips through the middle of a split vote, becomes PM and grants all of the Boris Wave arrivals, ILR, independent leave to remain, indefinite leave to remain, the blame will lie solely with Restore Britain. Vote Reform Mayfield and stop the Rupert Wave. And you can tell on GP News, that Reform propaganda channel, they're getting a little bit worried, I'd say.
Don't mean I agree with all of this.
And for Reform, they've got this Rupert Low Party, which I'm not sure yet is a national party, good locally in Greater Yarmouth, but is Restore Britain enough to do enough to take on Farage nationally? I'm not sure on that.
Restore is confident. Look at this. They have revealed the bookies odds today, 9-1, and closing. And as you can imagine, my old pal Alex Phillips, who is out and out a reformist, a Farageist, is going a little bit mad about this one.
She's a witch. No, mate, she's a witch.
I'm like, don't be like moronic. Dear Rupert, you ain't gonna win that seat. It's lose-lose. You either going to do really badly and look pointless, or if you do really well, it will potentially allow Labour to win the seat, and that looks ridiculous. This is lose-lose. Moronic choice. Politically moronic.
A ridiculous woman.
It's not politically moronic from where they're standing. From where Restore Britain are standing, because right now they are effectively a non-entity except in the Great Yarmouth area. But their long-term ambition is to supplant reform. If you want to supplant reform, you need to run a guerrilla insurgency and you need to have the longevity to last 10, 15 years. And this is the thing. If, because they know they're not going to win this, they know they're probably not even going to get 1,000 votes.
Well, after you saying that, after Keir Starmer saying that about Tommy Robinson's rally, now you're saying that. Rupert Low, on God's life, on God, dear God,
now is all that Restore Britain needs to do. It is not interested in taking the Labour Party or the Tories or anywhere else. Its enemy, because it is to the right of reform, is to take on reform. That's what's giving away. So from their perspective, which is not about winning the country right now, it's just about beating reform. You can see actually why they would do.
I don't fucking like him now.
No, I understand your frustration. I understand
To
your
be honest,
frustration.
fair,
You would be prepared to vote tactically to get a right-wing government. You'd be prepared to vote whichever right-wing party was. If it was going to be, say, a hung parliament, you'd be prepared. And if there was no chance of reform winning in your constituency, but there was a chance of a Tory getting in, you're not going to vote Labour. You're not going to. You probably, if you had to vote Tory. But the point here is that's about a grand vision for the country, which is a right-wing government. But Restore are not interested.
I want to be
Exactly. It's a vanity project. They're not interested.
Well, it's not a vanity project, is it?
No,
it's
it's
democracy. That's what political parties do. They fight it out for government. And it's interesting just looking at the live chat, because a lot of you are saying we love Rupert Low, you're not angry about this, and you do seem to understand too that there is some type of censorship going on. Like, I'm just going to say
Go let
Right,
them.
GB News,
I'm going to
E-News,
say let them
hide
do it,
your
Rupert Low. Don't
comments.
go on their shows.
It's interesting,
Don't
isn't it?
go on and come on dance
Today,
and stuff like this.
Rupert Low didn't listen to Alex Phillips. He
I'm gonna
has
say,
gone ahead with
he's
his
come onto
decision,
your shows and things
and
like
he's
this.
the first out of the gate.
I want him
Officially
joined up
announcing
with,
that
I
Restore's
want him joined
candidate
up
will be
still with Ben
Rebecca
Levine,
Shepherd.
and I'm hoping
He says that he looks forward to campaigning with her and that we are in it
Jeremy
to
fucking
win
Clarkson. I don't
He made the announcement on video. Watch.
Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm absolutely
I was going to say, mate, I want Jeremy Clarkson with you
Rebecca
know.
Shepherd is going to run as the
I
Restore
don't know how
Britain
it becomes in
prospective
pound. I've
parliamentary
no
candidate
idea. I've no
for
idea
May
how
4th.
that goes. But
She
Jeremy
is
Clarkson.
somebody who lives locally. She has
He's
participated
a
in
farmer and
local life.
everything.
She's
I
contributed
like
to local
Jeremy
life.
Clarkson's pretty
She's
mint.
very well respected. She has
Jeremy
run into major
Clarkson,
trouble
Ben
with her
Levine,
local
yourself,
council, as
and
we all
Nick
do.
from UKIP.
In her case, she ran a very
That is a
prominent
party.
riding
I
school
was
for
going to
many
say,
years
well, that's 5
before the
people.
local council.
And I
through
did
their
get 5
licensing
people
rules,
before, like what
decided her
Reform had.
Marquee was too close to her
5
stables.
political,
They
you know,
then
the
didn't
top
give her
people.
planning permission to relocate the muck-heap. So she
Yourself being the
was
Prime
tripped up
Minister,
by
and I
these
said yourself
petty
in the first
bureaucrats and
place.
petty rules which are
It might have been,
increasingly
but I've
holding
written,
Britain
I
back.
said Rupert Low to
And
be Prime
she is
Minister, and I've always stuck
incredibly
with it, and I'm
brave
not
to
changing my
stand
mind,
up
mate.
and
Yeah, we
to
am.
be counted.
And he's to
And
know
Rupert Low made it clear this is
who's
a
doing for
very
Manchester.
personal fight for him, reminding everyone who Andy Burnham, who is likely to be the Labour candidate, really is.
And quite frankly, how Andy Burnham thinks he's going to tread on the backs of these people to further his ambitions to become Prime Minister, I don't know. He's also poking fun at the fact that people voted to leave the European Union in 2016. He's a failed politician. He will not deliver for Britain if he gets anywhere near power, as Labour haven't done so far. So this is a really important test of how far Restore Britain has come. And I urge everybody, let's get behind Rebecca, let's win this vote, and let's basically prove that quietly, with no media coverage, Restore Britain is actually the party for the people.
Well, I'm really looking forward to having...
Is going to win, and win big.
Sorry, I interrupted Rupert there, but I'm actually really looking forward to having Rebecca Shepherd on Outspoken soon. But today she has spoken to Restore Britain's Montgomery Toms.
I would say a common sense party with a trustworthy leader who cares about his people, his constituents, doesn't try and lie about anything, and just really wants the best for the people. And that's it, isn't it? That's all we want. We just want to be recognised. We want us as British people to be put first.
Yeah, he was there at Tom Robinson's rally.
I have a feeling she might be quite formidable. You'd want her in Parliament, wouldn't you? Ben Habib certainly does. Another big development today on the right of British politics. He has announced on X, I can confirm Advance UK will not be standing in the Makerfield by-election. I urge all our supporters and members to throw their weight behind Rebecca Shepherd, the Restore Britain candidate. Rupert Low replying, that is sincerely appreciated. Thank you for the support. And the thing is, right, what we are going to start seeing is Reform UK moving to the left. They're actually being loud and proud about this at the moment. Look at this week's Spectator magazine, where James Hill, their deputy political editor, who is effectively part of the Reform UK operation these days, it's like he's embedded within the party.
All that goes on is BBC.
Over the left. He says, for us, focus is like this heartland. His speech in Sunderland this week marks the beginning of a campaign to woo the trade unions and attempt to break the link between Starmer's party and the working classes, which has been ironclad for more than a century. After all the talk of too many Tories and Reform, the criticism now will be about left-wing Farage. It is the kind of audacious pivot that Farage has made his trademark. Take last year, before the May local elections, he positioned himself as an almost apolitical celebrity figure, campaigning on potholes, waste, and amidst a fixed approach to government. Then came the summer and a switch to migration with a remorseless focus on channel crossings, migrant crime, and mass deportations of some 600,000 illegal migrants. But I think that's a problem, right? Like, we need to know where a party stands. I don't want a left-wing Reform UK, and I've been arguing that Reform UK have been left-wing for a year.
Yeah.
The other problem is, by the way, they're brutally disloyal. Have you seen this today? They've knifed David Bull, the chairman. What did he do wrong?
Yeah.
He's been replaced by Lee Anderson. So there you go. To the superstar panel, Lauren the Insider and Leo Kurz. Okay, I think we might both slightly disagree on this, so this is good. Lauren, Restore Britain, are they wrong to stand a candidate here, risk splitting the right-wing vote, allowing Andy Burnham to become Prime Minister and doing a better job than Slippery Starmer is?
No, I don't understand this argument. Why should Restore not put a candidate forward? At the end of the day, it is this disgusting, dirty swamp that has thrown our children to the side. We need to be fighting, metaphorically, don't lock me up, Stormer, but we need to be fighting for a better future for all of us. It is not. Our future is not going to get better by re-electing the same cretins that are in there that have got us in this mess. We have to absolutely put everything behind Rupert Low with this. And it's very, very interesting that Ben Habib has put out that supportive tweet and said they're not putting a candidate forwards. I love Ben. I think he is, absolutely country first. And this gives me hope that perhaps Advance and Restore may be able to work on something. But, this whole debate of, oh, how dare you, it's splitting the right. Well, I would argue the only true people that actually care about the future of this country are Advance and Restore. Reform are so establishment, it is unbelievable. So it's like, if they get in, it's just a band-aid. And then in terms of Andy Burnham, he is a vile man that never listened to the whistleblowers. If you listen to the actual people that experienced everything, never listened to them. He was very slow at best to implement any changes from the Alexis J report. And Manchester and everything he turns his hand to is an utter disaster. So we have to put everything, I think, behind Restore and Rupert on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, Cerulean Sword, who's just big live on the super chat, says, I honestly struggle to imagine anything more glorious than BBC News announcing that Andy Burnham lost his by-election to Restore Britain.
Proper people.
And I do agree with that, but Leo Kurz, presumably you think, because you're a little bit more pro-reform probably, you think that this is a bad move by Restore, because you're making it less likely that Reform are going to win.
Yeah, the margins are very tight between Labour and Reform in the polling in this by-election. So anything like this, if Restore take a couple of thousand votes, it could destroy the project, and Burnham could get in, which would be a huge boost for Labour, to be honest, and would then open the door for him to run as Labour leader, and I think he'd actually be quite a popular Labour leader with the backbenchers. We might see some stability return to Labour, and also he'd be much more left-wing than Keir Starmer. Like, if you think Labour are left-wing now, I mean, Andy Burnham is economically left-wing, but he's also culturally and authoritarianly left-wing as well. So things would get worse. Things as Labour didn't say in 1997, things can only get worse with Andy Burnham there. So for Rupert Lowe to be announcing a candidate running in this seat, I think there's a brilliant role for Restore in certain areas, as you can see in Great Yarmouth, they did amazingly well. I think in certain seats they'll definitely be able to win, and I think they've got a huge role in holding Reform's feet to the fire and making sure they don't drift into the centre. But for him to be sitting there and talking into his laptop camera about piles of horse shit, I mean, who cares? Who cares about this woman's piles of horse shit? Like that's not something that's motivating a lot of voters, and it's ironic that he's talking about horse shit when he's speaking it as well. And Lauren, I've got to say, you say that it's perfectly great that he should stand, but then you also give credit to Ben Habib for not standing against him and taking votes away from him, and that's exactly. I think Ben Habib shouldn't be standing, and also Rupert Low shouldn't be standing. We've got to get over the line. Once we've got over the line,
we're getting the votes, mate.
At the end of the day, Advance and Restore are the only independent parties that are not grabbed by the balls by the likes of Rupert Murdoch and so forth. If we are truly to make a change, then it has to be someone that is not reliant on the mainstream media. We have a corrupt political system whereby little deals are always done, and it's establishment, and it is this system which has allowed the grooming gangs to happen and to be, swept under the carpet. It is this system that has allowed patriots to be smeared because the likes of Nick Ferrari are too scared to stand up to David Lammy, and he's too scared to stand up to David Lammy because Global, who we all know produce LBC, they do all the advertising for Transport for London. So at the end of the day, there is no point just putting a band-aid on something that is so deeply rotten. Reform our establishment. They have proved that time and time again. And this is very scary. So the only way...
I wouldn't really say Nigel Farage is establishment. He's certainly somebody who's rocked the establishment several times. There's also something else that Farage has got, for all his faults, he's got brand recognition. I mean, that sometimes